Need a ride?
Well, I know the companions make their home here. Their mead hall, your Vasker, is the oldest building in the city. Oh, and there's a nasty feud between two families called the Grey Mains and the Battleborns. You want to be careful there. The rest you can find out by asking the townsfolk. Start with the barkeep at the Bannered Mare or the Castle Steward. Where do you want to go? Climb and back and we'll be off. First time to Solitude? Beautiful old city. Capital of Skyrim, but I'm sure you already...
If you've come to Solitude to join the Legion, speak to Rika. If not, just keep your nose clean while you're here, or you'll end up like Rodvid. Heard they're reforming the Dawn Guard. Vampire hunters or something in the old fort near Riften.
Hurt Uncle Rogvir. Tell them he didn't do it.
Position.
Sorry you need to go home. Go home and stay there until your mother comes.
Traitor!
You betrayed us!
Get on with it!
You should tell her that her uncle is scum that betrayed his High King. Best she know now, Advar.
You're all heart,
Rogvir, you helped Ulfric Stormcloak escape the city after he murdered High King Torrig. By opening that gate for Ulfric, you betrayed the people of Solitude. He doesn't deserve to speak!
There was no murder. Ulfric challenged Torrig. He beat the High King in fair combat. Such is our way. Such is the ancient custom of Skyrim and all Nords.
Boo!
On this day, I go to Sovngarde.
thought you were!
Good riddance to bad rubbish, I say.
expected more.
Divine smile on you, friend.
It shouldn't have been like this.
Not right now.
I'll follow.
Rogvir, why did it have to be like this?
A man opens a gate and they cut his head off? Doesn't seem right to me.
I've got some sermons to sell.
You're a good man. I'm waiting.
You wouldn't be a sellsword, would you? I have a little problem you could solve. I may have accidentally let a prisoner escape, the leader of one of those bandit groups. I told everyone he died during questioning, and I need you to track him down and make sure he doesn't show up to disprove that. Good. I'll have a sack of coin waiting for you when you get back. Aye, I'm the headsman here in Solitude. It's my job. Depends on what you mean by busy. I'm also the head jailer in the dungeon here. Quiet job, usually. Ain't got one, but I'd fancy a chance at that Jari Ra's scrawny neck. Filthy Argonia never would have set foot in this city if High King Torrig was still alive. I can tell you that. Remember, I need that bandit dead, not alive. Mind yourself in my city. This here axe in full swing is a right terrible sight.
If you need potions, head over to Angeline's Aromatics.
Take my advice. Never gamble. Damn Ernskar has me in debt up to the eyes. Too many drinking games, too many bets, and I'm too old to ever raise the coin on my own. He's a stubborn oaf. I don't know what good it'll do. You should speak to my daughter, Yvette. She's the brains of the family. Fletching suits me. It's difficult and sometimes tedious, but yet another new face. I'm from Hammerfell, you see. I can hardly keep track of all the people I've been meeting. Where the dragon attacked? We've heard rumors of death and fire from the skies, but no real news. Then we should soon be selling arrows by the bushel. A sword is no good against a dragon. Aye, but I'll be here in Solitude for longer still. Viata's skill as a Fletcher drew me to this place. I wanted to learn. And there is still much of Skyrim I wish to see. I hear there is a city, Windhelm, that is nearly white with... what do you call it? Oh yeah, snow. And far to the west lies a ruin, Volskag. Inside, there's said to be a wall, black as night, and it speaks in the ancient dragon tongue. There are wonders in this place I never dreamed
This one's a favorite of
imaginable.
mine. A legend we all know and love. Our hero claims a warrior's heart.
Good to talk to a fellow traveler.
I tell you, the Dragonborn comes. With a voice-wielding power of the ancient Nord art. Believe, the Dragonborn comes. It's an end to the evil of all Skyrim's foes. Beware, the Dragonborn comes. For the darkness has passed, and the legend yet grows. You'll know the Dragonborn's come.
Ouch! Hey! Papa says I won't see Rogvir anymore. But he wouldn't tell me why not.
Welcome to the Winking Skeever, friend. Well, as it turns out, I had a pet skeever when I was a boy, and he used to wink. They were smaller back then. Varnius Junius stopped by here on his way to court.
This one's a favorite of
He was
mine.
worried about something.
A legend
I'm sure
we all
Falk
know and
Firebeard
love.
could tell you what.
Our hero claims a warrior's heart. I tell you.
People say there's a man wandering the streets near the Blue Palace. He seems distressed, but he's not making any sense. I think the Bard's College might be looking for recruits. You should speak to the head of the college, Viarmo, if you're interested. I've heard Jari Raz hanging around the Wells district, looking for new blood to hire.
Beware, the Dragonborn comes. For the darkness has passed, and the legend yet grows. You'll know the Dragonborn's come.
Magic. You're on the wrong side of Skyrim. You want Winterhold. That college there, they teach it. Otherwise, you can try the Jarl's Wizard. I wouldn't, though. Remember the Winking Skeever next time you're footsore.
True, I may look the part of dashing swordsman, but I prefer the art of wit to that of warfare.
This one's a favorite of mine. Feel free to make requests. Generally, if you want rumors, you should talk to Corpulus. That said, I did see a visitor pass through on his way to the Blue Palace. Oh, no. But being surrounded by good music, good drink, and good friends is all I've ever asked for. Only in that I'm a graduate. I work here at the Winking Skeever. I would highly recommend it, though. Talk to Viarmo if you're interested. You should think about staying the night. Corpulus keeps a clean inn.
Fletching suits me. It's difficult and sometimes tedious, but a well-made
You
arrow
were there
strikes
for
forth
Rogvir's
like the fury
execution.
of a god.
Most people head over to the Winking Skeever. If you're not interested in music or drink, you can at least talk to Corpulus. He can fill you in on any of the latest gossip. Perhaps, but necessary. My cousin Fura is somewhere out there in Skyrim right now, fighting Ulfric Stormcloak and his damned insurrectionists. She wouldn't have to be there at all if it weren't for Rogvir. And my aunt wouldn't have to worry about her daughter. You really don't know? He lets Ulfric Stormcloak escape Solitude. Ulfric rides in, murders the High King, and Rogvir lets him ride right back out. People to see and places to go, huh? Later, then.
True, I may look the part of dashing swordsman, but I prefer the art of wit to that of warfare.
Ah, yet another new face. I'm from Hammerfell, you see. I can hardly keep track of all the people I've been meeting. Fletching suits me. It's difficult and sometimes tedious, but a well-made arrow strikes forth like the fury of a god. Good to talk to a fellow traveler.
Our hero claims a warrior's heart. I tell you, the Dragonborn comes. With a voice-wielding power of the ancient Nord art. Believe, the Dragonborn comes. It's an end to the evil of all Skyrim's foes. Beware, the Dragonborn comes. For the darkness...
Can you spare a septum? Lost an eye during the Great War, or I'd earn it myself. What? You see a man fallen on hard times, and you think he's been like that forever? I was there. I fought in the Great War. I was on the field at Anvil. And when I was struck down, they left me. You understand? They left me for dead. I didn't leave them. It's best you leave me be.
What delight. Another charming customer. Radiant Raiment has the finest attire in all of Skyrim. That is how we get business. It is when my customers waste time chatting and not buying. Finally. Why, hello. Here to buy? If you have to ask the price, you might be in the wrong store. We provide clothing for all of Solitude's most influential residents. But for you, I'll make an exception. Nothing at all. It's very nice. If you want something with a little more style, however, you should see what we have available. It's not an insult, just an observation. If I were walking around with a wound, I would want you to tell me to see a doctor. Your outfit is something of an open wound, where attire is concerned. You're really going to the Blue Palace? That presents an opportunity. If you are willing to wear one of Radiant Raymond's outfits and speak to the Jarl, I would not only pay you, but let you keep the outfit. Good. Here's the outfit. Try to get Elisif's opinion on it, and if she likes it, mention it's from Radiant Raymond. Thank you. Need something? I do hope you'll remain in Solitude. The city could do with some new blood.
I hid here in Solitude for a long time.
I'm not interested, Jari. It doesn't
More
matter how many
follows
times.
Wanderer like you must have plenty of tales to tell. But I'm afraid I'm too busy to hear them. Seems there's no end to the needs of the Imperials. But what? It's almost all I have time for these days. The men training here in Solitude, and the troops out in the field, they all need weapons and armor. You should look into joining. They could use every hand they can get. To be honest, no. But High King Torrig supported them. And now, her lady Elisif has thrown in with them. You could say I'm a king's man at heart. I guess that's Jarl's man now. My loyalty lies with Solitude. So, where Jarl Elisif leads, I follow. You're not supposed to be in here! Can't the man have a bit of privacy? Get out of here! Last warning. Leave. Now!
You look new. I'm new too. You're passing through Solitude? Maybe you're looking to make some easy gold, yes?
You can afford a septim or two.
It's easy to find things to sell. Things nobody will miss. Things from underground, or just left lying around in someone's house. I bet the two of us, we're very alike. So why not take the next step? We can help each other. My sister Deja and I are treasure hunters. We like to collect things.
It's not much to ask.
Of course not. Thieves take what is precious. Thieves steal. We just take what will not be missed, what no one needs anymore. Maybe we take some weapons and stop a few deaths. Who would call that thievery? I knew you looked like a clever one. With the war, many more ships come through these docks, loaded with weapons and pay, but few people, and they pass through dangerous waters. We have an interest in one of those boats, the Ice Runner. The Solitude Lighthouse will be guiding it in, but if its fire were to go out, the Ice Runner would run aground. What an interesting idea. I think if someone were to do something like that, there would definitely be a certain amount of loot to be shared. Yes, if someone were to put out the lighthouse fire and then meet me on the docks afterwards, I could certainly direct them to that loot. Don't worry about them. We'll make sure they wash up safe. Maybe they'll even pay us for their heroic rescue from their sad crash. Turn me in? For what? What crime's been committed? I'm just making idle talk about what would most undoubtedly be a tragic event. A tragic and very, very profitable event. It would be best if we spoke little until you've completed your task. You should see me explore the street.
I don't buy fancy clothes, but you look like you might. I hear Radiant Raiments has a large selection. No lollygagging.
Oh, Master, it's your time to do with as you please. But what about those who depend on you so much? Being old's not so bad.
Water keeps me fed. My working days are done.
Got to keep my eyes open. Damn dragons could swoop down at any time.
Oh, hello. Just tidying up.
Watch your feet. We just clean there.
Jarls come and Jarls go, but a good cook stays for a lifetime. And I'm a very, very good cook. Please, don't interrupt the
I
court.
swear to you, unnatural magics are coming from that cave. There are strange noises and lights. We need someone to investigate.
Then we will immediately send out a legion to scour the cave and secure the town. Hafingar's people will always be safe under my
Your
rule.
Eminence, my scrying has suggested nothing in the area. Dragonbridge is under Imperial control. This is likely superstitious nonsense.
Perhaps a more tempered reaction might be called for?
Oh, yes, of course, you were right. Falk, tell Captain Aldous I said to assign a few extra soldiers to Dragonbridge.
Thank you, Jarl Elisif. But about the cave?
I will have someone take care of the cave as well, Varnius. You can rest easy. You're dismissed.
Be quick. I have little patience for mundane concerns.
If you have business, please see Falk Firebeard, my steward. Because that's what traitorous cowards do when they desire power. Ulfric coveted the High King's throne. He thought he deserved it more than Torrig. And so he came before my husband and he shouted with that terrible voice, like something out of a legend or a nightmare. When Ulfric unleashed such fury, my husband, he simply ceased to be. That is all I will say, for it grieves me to speak of it. Not yet, no. Although it is true my husband Torrig was the High King, and I am his widow. Now is not the time to lay claim to such a title. This land is riven by war, and her people suffer for it. The Stormcloaks are a blight on Skyrim, and like any blight, must be purged. Only then will I take my rightful place as High Queen. a question I am all too familiar with, one my very Thanes ask often. They worry that Tullius is so focused on the war that he risks forgetting what's best for our people. The real irony is that, while General Tullius is certainly no Nord, the people of Skyrim would be lost without him. Trust is always difficult, especially for my people. Yet we must trust in Tullius's leadership. For what other choice do we have? Oh, I thought that matter was handled. I think Falk is taking care of that. Be well. Pray for Solitude and my husband.
If I needed something from you, you would know it. Nothing. I'm busy, and I don't like being bothered unless I'm expecting something from you. Oh, don't give me that look. Fine, I suppose I can find some menial task to set your mind on. We have something of a vampire problem. Bodies have been found with blood drained. I know of a den nearby you can wipe out as a precaution. I don't expect you to be capable of even that. I can teach you, but I won't be held responsible for what you do with the knowledge. I was, to my shame. The whole court was in attendance. I've seen much in my time, but that was a gruesome day. Because Ulfric needed a symbol. Someone he could defeat that represented the Empire. The White Gold Concordat, the banning of Talos worship. Torig's father Islot had held Skyrim together for nearly 25 years. When he died, Torig became that symbol. No, even after Islot died, the Moot voted to make Torig High King of Skyrim. But Ulfric was at that Moot, continually talking about Skyrim's independence in terms just shy of treason. I don't think Ulfric knew how much Torig respected him for that. If Ulfric had asked Torig directly to stand up, to declare independence, Torig might have done it. Because the Dominion is a sleeping beast that Skyrim cannot slay alone. Because many Nords are part of the Imperial Army even now. Because the food and resources we get from the Empire are important to our people. Because even if we can't openly worship him, Talos the God was once Tiber Septim the man, and this is his empire. And Torig wasn't ready to let it fall apart. I was a member of the court during the reign of Torig's father. It was Torig who appointed me to the position. Very. I helped raise him. Oh, I could not have been more proud to see Torig on the throne. He made a fine king, a fine king. Not really. Varnius Junius is a fool. I'm sure nothing will come of it. I suppose if you're truly interested, you could talk to Falk. He's the better safe than sorry type. I have no time or patience for a student. Perhaps the College of Winterhold will grant you admission. Vampires are clever hunters. More clever than you, definitely.
I am the Jarl's steward. If you have court business to tend to, you talk to me. You mean the Dragon Bridge issue? I'll be honest with you. I was planning to let that go. Varnius is a bit jumpy at the best of times. There have been reports of weird happenings near Wolfskull Cave. Travelers disappearing, odd lights. I suspect wild animals, or perhaps bandits. I don't think it's worth our time with the war going on. But if you want to clear out the cave, I'll make sure you're repaid for your work. The cave has a bad history. Long ago, Potema the Wolf Queen used it for necromantic rituals. That's where it got the name. That was over 500 years ago. Nothing much down there now, but everyone's always convinced the cave is haunted. That remains to be seen. By rights, she has a legitimate claim as High Queen of Skyrim. But we must have the support of the other Jarls for that claim to have any meaning. Should they accept her rule, we will have peace. Of course he does. What sort of a question is that? Maybe you've been listening to Eriker. There's been loose talk among some of the Thanes, and I suspect he's the cause of it. You'll pay those rumors no heed if you wish to retain your welcome in this city. She may be young, but Elisif is the Jarl by right. And here in Skyrim, if nothing else, we respect the traditions of our fathers' fathers. You'd do well to remember that. Feel free to return to me with questions. The Blue Palace is an open forum.
If you have business, please see Falk Firebeard, my steward.
I found the bone. I brought it to you, but still I refuse.
You should see me when you get bored,
You're
stranger.
not supposed to be in here.
You're not supposed to be in here.
I'm not going to warn you again. Get out or I'll call the guards.
Spare some gold for a veteran?
They say Ulfric Stormcloak murdered the High King. With his voice. Shouted him apart. If those Whiterun guards can take down a dragon, so can we.
Talk to Gaiman if you want a horse, or Katla if you're looking for work. I can't help you.
Looking for a horse? You'll want to talk to my father, Gaiman.
I really don't mean to be rude, but I don't think there's much I can help you with. Family's weathered its share of problems, but we... Need something?
You probably want someone else. I'm just a stable boy. I hate it. Everyone feels sorry for me, so they don't treat me too bad, but... Both my parents were in the Legion. There was an ambush. Kayla said she'd feed me if I could make myself useful. I'd take care of the animals, run errands, that kind of thing. I guess it could be worse, but I'm sick of sleeping outside with the horses. I want a real home, real parents, not this. Both my parents were in the Legion. There was an ambush. Talk to game. Really? Do you have a place I could live? Oh well. Thanks anyway, I guess.
Need a ride? I can take you to any of the hold cap. Solitude's been the capital of Skyrim as long as I can remember. Most of the High Kings of Skyrim were Jarls of Solitude first. Well, let's see, what else? The Bard's College is here, and the main office of the East Empire Company. If you need it, you can get a room for a fair price at the Rinking Skeever, just inside the main gate. Where do you want to go? Climb and back, and we'll be off. You ready to go yet?
Did you see a dog out there? I don't know, really. The blacksmith is offering a reward for a dog he saw on the road. I was hoping you'd seen it. I guess I'll stay on the lookout. Keep your nose clean while you're here, outsider.
I can't believe we let provincials like you wander Skyrim. I can't believe we let provincials like you wander Skyrim.
Well met. Unlike my brother, I've no dislike of strangers. Met lots of them while I was a Stormcloak. I was once, but not anymore. I was wounded in a skirmish up near Windhelm. This was years ago, mind you. Now maybe I don't pick up a blade in Ulfric's name no more, but I still hold with his ideals. Skyrim is Nordland, and we ought to rule it. We don't need no help from the Empire on that count.
You need to leave.
His name's Bolin. He's the one who works the lumber mill down by the river. If you meet him, don't expect much in the way of conversation. He ain't one for talking, especially with folk he don't know.
You need to
steal anything from my shop and you'll regret it.
Come on in. Let me know if you need anything, or take a seat by the fire and I'll send someone over.
A sad time. Yes, and I couldn't tell you why. My wife and I think there's some dark magic at work. Or perhaps Arkay's influence is strong here, and he likes to keep it this way. Our daughter. Our little girl. She hadn't seen her 10th winter. Sinding came through as a laborer. Seemed like a decent man. He's stewing in the pit while we figure out what to do with him. If you've got the stomach to look at him. What could drive a man to do something like this? He ripped her apart. Like a saber cat tears a deer. We barely found enough of her to bury. The cemetery is ancient. It's been here longer than the town. I'm no scholar, but I know that a lot of battles have been fought here over the course of history. After each battle, more dead were buried and the graveyard got bigger. I heard it's now the biggest graveyard in Skyrim. just don't understand what kind of man does that.
A strong drink will chase off that chill in the air. I've half a mind to ask if you'll take me on one of your adventures.
Need
but
something?
I can't just leave Volga on her own.
Keep a song in your heart to ward off the gloom.
Welcome to Dead. I escaped fighting in Cyrodiil. The people of Skyrim don't like magic much, so about the only place you're likely to find a teacher is the College of Winterhold. You hear any juicy gossip in town? Be sure to share it with me.
I protect the Jarl, whoever that might be.
I'm the steward here. I serve under Jarl Siggeir and Jarl Dengeir before him. Many battles have been fought here over the centuries. Graves were dug and monuments built, and the town grew around these. In time, Falkreath came to be known as the Hero's Graveyard. Many noble jarls and renowned warriors asked to be buried here. Falkreath's reputation has faded somewhat, but the graves remain, reminding us of the one inevitable truth of life. It was Dengeir who made me a steward, long ago when he was young. When Dengeir's health began to fail, young Siggeir was appointed Jarl in his stead. It was simpler just to keep me as steward. Siggeir has no interest in running his hold, and so leaves such matters to me. As for my part, I do my best to see that folk are treated fairly. May wisdom forever light your path.
Don't let the shop's name frighten you away. I have plenty of reliable tonics and healing potions to sell. I know it's a bit strange. Not exactly a name to bring comfort to the sick and ailing who come to buy a poultice or salve. But what you must understand about Falkreath is that our town is defined, for better or worse, by the large and ancient cemetery here. That's why the inn is called Dead Man's Drink, the farm is called Corpse Light Farm, and so on. I suppose it's sort of a running joke. Well, my family back in Hammerfell didn't approve of my interest in lethal poisons and death in general, so I left and wandered north. When I found this town, with its huge cemetery, I felt right at home. I opened the shop, and I've never looked back. This is where I belong.
All right, then.
Yeah, good to see you. Finally, someone useful is around. Ah, it's you. Yes, well, now we'll see if the stories about you are true. There's a group of bandits in my hold that I may have had a few discreet dealings with. The cut they were giving me was good at first, but now it's time to clean things up. Go and take care of it. Good. Difficult? I'm a Jarl. I eat the most succulent meat, drink the finest ale, and hunt with the best hounds in the hold. Meanwhile, my very capable steward sees to the needs of the small folk and ensures that my hold runs smoothly. Being a Jarl could hardly be simpler. You should try it sometime. My uncle Dengir was Jarl until a short time ago. His old age and failing health caught up with him, and he stepped down. He now serves us honorably as Thane, and to the great benefit of the hold, I now serve as Jarl. Execute every last bandit. Spare no one.
By the gods! Dragon!
It's really dead then?
By the gods! I don't even know what to say.
I never would have believed it if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes.
You shouldn't leave weapons laying around. Someone could get hurt. And if I see you do it again, that someone will be you. Have I made myself clear? See that it doesn't happen again.
gods.
Heard they're reforming the
even know
Dawn
what to
God.
say.
It's really dead.
or something.
Yeah, maybe dead now.
Might
Where
consider
did it come
joining up
from?
myself. No lollygagging.
I'm sorry, I should really go now.
I can't believe we let provincials like you wander Skyrim.
I have to wonder, what does the Dragonborn do once he's summoned by the Greybeards? Trouble? What is it? Dragons? Now I remember. You're the new member of the Companions. So you what? Fetch the mead?
Need a ride? Where do you want to go? Climb and back and we'll be off. Ever been to Windhelm? Oldest city in Skyrim by some account. They say the big old palace there was built by
I hope someday we'll get to know each other better. My pa used to say, there ain't no use worrying about the things you can't change. If it's my fate to be ended by a dragon, so be it. Meantime, I'll live my life the way I want to. It's for sale if you've got the coin. Sometimes the difference between life and death is a swift steed.
You come here where you're not wanted. You eat our food, you pollute
I hope someday we'll get to know each other
You
better.
refuse to help the Stormcloaks.
But we haven't taken a side because it's not our fight.
I see why the Nords like Skyrim. This crisp air is wonderful for the lungs.
Imperial spies.
Imperial spies? You can't be serious.
Maybe we'll pay you a visit tonight, little spy. We got ways of finding out what you really are.
Do you hate the Dark Elves? Are you here to bully us and tell us to leave? You've come to the wrong city, then. Windhelm's a haven of prejudice and narrow thinking, unworthy of one such as you. Nothing new there. Most of the Nords living in Windhelm don't care much for us, but Rolf is the worst by far. He likes to get drunk and walk around the Grey Quarter yelling insults at us in the small hours of the morning. Oh, a real charmer, that one. Some of these Nords will come up with any excuse to despise us. And it isn't just the Dark Elves they hate. They make a target of the Argonians as well. In fact, just about anyone who isn't a Nord is fair game for their bullying. Until next time.
I'd travel more, but who wants to deal with all the soldiers these days? Just got here from the Somerset Isles. Lots of opportunity in Skyrim. It was difficult at first. The Nords of this city are at best suspicious of outsiders. But in time, I made the right friends and proved myself useful enough that they don't give me trouble anymore. The Dark Elves are too proud and naive to understand the way things truly are, and so they continue to dwell in that slum. Until next time. If you're looking to get a drink, Candlehearth Hall's got warm fires and strong ale.
It's no secret the Aretino boy is doing some ritual, trying to call the Dark Brotherhood. But who's going to stop him? Me? I'll have no part of that.
Then it's true, what everyone is saying. That Aventus Aretino is doing the Black Sacrament, trying to summon the Dark Brotherhood?
Oh, Grimvar, always with the nonsense. No, of course not. Those are just tales.
Fine, then I'll invite him out to play. He lives right there. I'm going to knock on his door.
No, child, wait! That boy, that house, they are cursed.
Ha! Then I'm right. I knew it. He's trying to have somebody killed.
All right, I won't deny it, child. What you heard is true. But Aventus Aretino walks a dark path. His actions can lead only to ruin. Now, enough. We will speak no more of this. I am the only friend you need.
All the Argonians at the docks are nice to me. Good thing, too, or father would run them off. Do you know his name is Torsten Krulsey. He's really rich, because he owns a farm called Hollyfrost. He told me once that he wanted me to grow up and be a sailor, because that's where all our family names come from. But I don't want to be a sailor or a farmer. I want to be a warrior, the strongest one ever. Bye. Sweet mother, send your child unto me, for the sins of the unworthy must be baptized in blood and fear. Please, how long must I do this? I keep praying, Night Mother. Why won't you answer me? Sweet mother, send your child unto me, for the sins of the unworthy must be baptized in blood and fear. Finally! My prayers have been answered! It worked! I knew you'd come! I just knew it! I did the Black Sacrament over and over with the body and the things, and then you came! An assassin from the Dark Brotherhood! You don't have to say anything. There's no need. You're here, so I know you'll accept my contract. My mother, she died. I'm all alone now. So they sent me to that terrible orphanage in Riften, Honor Hall. The headmistress is an evil, cruel woman. They call her Grella the Kind, but she's not kind. She's terrible to all of us. So I ran away and came home and performed the Black Sacrament. Now you're here, and you could kill Grella the Kind. To be honest, I'm kind of lonely here. As much as I hated getting sent to Honor Hall, I really miss my friends there.
I trust you're not planning any trouble. What can I do for you, friend? My sister and I once traveled the world to assemble our collection. I don't care much for the war, one way or the other.
Hail, companion.
This here's got some fresh baked bread and good cheese if you're after a bite to eat. Did you see the candle above the fire upstairs? It was lit 163 years ago, back when this building was the home of a grand warrior named Wundheim. When word came that he'd fallen, his son Durok lit the candle in his honor. Nobody knows why it still burns.
For the age of oppression is now nearly done.
Magic? Goodness, not here. Nothing dangerous like that. That's all kept to that college up in Winterhold. Better that than dealing with Ulfric's wizard like some do. Enjoy your stay,
All hail
and don't
to
break
Ulfric.
nothing.
You are the High King. In your great honor we drink and we sing. We're the children of Skyrim, and we fight all our lives. And when Sovngarde beckons, every one of us dies. But this land is ours, and we'll see it wiped clean of the scourge that has sullied our hopes and our dreams.
How can Elder
All hail to Ulfric! You are
I'm
the
a sailor
High
on the
King.
Northwind. We're laying
In
over in
your
Windhelm.
great honor we drink and we sing.
Isabella's gone. She was
You.
such a helpful young lass.
You a dark elf lover? Get out of our city, you filthy piece of trash! Wouldn't surprise me. They've done nothing to help in the fight for Skyrim's freedom. Those Thalmor are elves too. I bet they're working together. Maybe I should round up some men and take us a few prisoners to interrogate. They're parasites. They're living in our city under our protection. What did they do for us? Nothing. I know the High King invited them here, but he didn't ask me or anyone else first. Maybe he should have. Don't like it? Too bad. This is our city. Ours! Don't think I can take you? 100 septims say I can punch you back where you came from. All right? Fists only. And none of that magic stuff either. Let's go. Come on. Never should have come here.
Someone do something.
Kill him.
Hey! What you doing?
No.
Drive
that snow back to the ground.
Come on! Warrior's heart. I tell
That wasn't a fair swing. Yeah. Here.
With a voice wielding power of the ancient Nord art. Believe, believe the Dragonborn comes. It's an end to the evil of all. Good morning. All right then.
I still can't believe Isabella's gone.
I'm a sailor on the North.
She was such a helpful young lass.
How can Elda hate the Dark Elves when she knows so little about them?
Nay, can't just throw the big logs on the fire. Gotta have the little bits, too.
All delicious and affordable. I lost my family years ago. Truth is, I don't really know what keeps me going. If you're looking to pass the time, you can give Calixto a few septims and gawk at whatever oddity he's come across lately. If you're in need of goods, there's a market. If it's a soft bed and a hot meal you're after, there's Candlehearth Hall. Terrible shame that. Seems we have a killer on the loose here in Windhelm. He's claimed 3 victims that I know of, though maybe there's more that haven't been found yet. All lovely ladies too. Let's hope the gods find the demon soon and introduce him to the headman's axe. Well, nothing. At least not anymore. Folk just call me that because of what I used to do. I was a sailor for many a year. I made my coin as a trader, and in time, I bought my own ship. When I retired here in Windhelm, most folk already knew me as Captain Lonelygale, and the name just stuck. There's an author named Adonato staying at the inn. He's published a few works of historical fiction. The clans Shattershield and Cruelsea see most of the gold that passes through the city. And obviously you have Ulfric, the Jarl and future High King. Oh, and that busybody Viola Giordano. She's got her nose in everyone's business, which I guess is one way of being prominent. Fair winds and calm seas. That's an old sailor's party.
I lost my twin
I travel
sister a
more,
while
but
back.
who wants to deal with all
Have
the
you ever
soldiers
lost
these
anyone
days?
close?
There's no glory in war. It's just something they tell soldiers so they'll risk their lives.
Sort of sense.
Good morning.
Since our daughter was taken from us.
Everything you see is grown at my family's own Hollyfrost farm. Fresh and filling. I also do a little herb growing. The court wizard, Woundfirth, pays us to plant a little nightshade. Who knows what he uses it for. Hey, could you deliver this bottle of nightshade extract to Woundfirth? Thanks. There's an old saying that only a Nord can work the soil in Skyrim. I don't think anyone else would have the patience for it. It takes half a day just to dig a planting row in the cold, stony earth here. But what else can we do? Eat rocks and ice? Good day to you.
You need anything, come see me. Wherever I can find them. If you're the type who worries over where something came from, you may want to move on. I'm a dark elf and I live in Windhelm, so yes, I live in the Grey Quarter. You must be new around here, or you'd know they don't let my kind live anywhere outside that slum. Be sure to stop by Sadri's used wares in the Grey Quarter.
I'll be fine.
Master, you're far too old for this sort of journey. We don't know what's inside.
I can... just...
You see, you're not well. Have a seat, and I'll fetch you some tonic.
No. If there was a tonic that could help me, I would have found it by now.
My master can be a bit short-tempered, but I've learned so much from him. Oh dear. Darkwater Crossing needs medicines for its miners. I'll see about getting this order filled right away. Here, a few septims for you. Are you kidding? I came all the way from Cyrodiil just to work with him. He's not the best teacher, but just watching him, I've learned so much. Until next time.
Just a man's life work is all. I finally derived the location of the White Phial, but this doting busybody won't let me get it. You would do that? It's good to know there are some people out there who are willing to help an old man. It's buried with its maker, Corral Mill, in a long-forsaken cave to the west of here. Corral Mill was a crafty one, even in death. You would need the skills of a master alchemist to reach his resting place. Luckily for you, I've already made the mixture. Here, take it. Please, don't dally. I've wasted enough time arguing with my useless assistant here. Ah, so you're an alchemist then? I've spent my entire life searching for it. It brought me all the way to these frozen reaches from the warm embrace of Somerset Isle. Entire years spent in libraries, seeking out tiny villages with local legends that contain but a whisper of a hint of the Phial. I even named my shop after it, hoping that it might attract anyone who had heard of it. And now it's within my grasp. But the Eight, it seems, have chosen me for their amusement. For in my current condition, I'll never be able to lay my hands on it. A legendary bottle, forged in the days when Skyrim was just starting its turn to ice. A small container made of the magically infused snow that first fell on the throat of the world. It is said that the Phial will replenish whatever fluid is placed inside of it. For an alchemist like myself, it is the most pure expression of my art. To create from nothingness is poetry. Why are you still standing around here? Go get me the Phial, you fool!
My master can be a bit short.
Everyone says you're looking to protect yourself or deal some damage. I don't see these troubles as business. This is a labor of honor. To bring Ulfric his rightful glory, I would hammer 1,000 shields. Shore's bones. I might just have to. Every bit as sharp as what you'll find in Whiterun. I respect Jormund, but he has the good fortune to work the Skyforge. Something about the fires. Their steel just holds tighter, if that makes any sense. Whether it's armor you need or a new blade, come see me.
Assorted wares and tools just can't without.
You might watch over the dead with mercy and kindness.
I have a little of everything for sale. Come, see for yourself.
Take home
My job's simple enough. The dead don't really complain much. Hear my prayer, son of Akatosh, and grant peace to these departed souls.
I lost my family years ago. Truth is, I don't really know what keeps me going. Fair winds and calm seas. That's an old sailor's motto.
Hey, watch it!
Spare a coin for a poor old woman, milady. The divine smile on a charitable soul.
Heard they're reforming the Dawn Guard. Vampire hunters or something. In the old fort. The Riften. Might consider joining up myself.
Aldrich won't give us a straight answer.
He's a true Nord. He'll come around.
Don't be so sure of that. We've intercepted couriers from Solitude. The Empire's putting a great deal of pressure on Whiterun.
And what would you have me do?
If he's not with us, he's against us.
He knows that. They all know that.
How long are you going to wait?
Only the foolish or the courageous approach a Jarl without summons. Do I know you? Ah, yes. Destined for the chopping block, if I'm not mistaken. Raylof's alive. I hope that's true. He's a damn good man, but he hasn't returned yet. So I'll need to wait for his account. For now, speak with Galmar. I'm always looking for able fighters. Not everyone can say they made it out of Helgen. Seems we're all branded villains these days. So long as your criminal past stays in the past, and you fight for me with honor and integrity, we'll welcome you into our ranks. You think I need to send Volgruff a stronger message?
If by message you mean shoving a sword through his gullet.
Taking his city and leaving him in disgrace would make
I'm not much of a strategist, but Lord Ulfric listens to my counsel all the same.
Start this war in earnest then.
Grew up here, cold as at Mora, but that just grows the beard sticker. Lot of history in these walls. We're trying to make some more. It's a lucky time to be alive.
Whoever we replace them with will need the support.
For Ulfric? Well, nothing official. Known him for years. He seems to value my thoughts, and I'm grateful for that. I don't really have a mind for war, and I think he likes having an untrained opinion from time to time.
Many, I fear, still need convincing.
Travel safely. It's dangerous.
Let them die with their false kings.
We've been soldiers a long time. We know the price of freedom. But people are still weighing things in their hearts.
What's left of Skyrim to wager?
They have families to think of.
How many of their sons and daughters follow your banner? We are their families.
Well put, friend. Tell me, Galmar, why do you fight for me?
I'd follow you into the depths of oblivion. You know that.
Yes, but why do you fight? If not for me, what then?
I'll die before elves dictate the fates of men. Are we not one in this?
I fight for the men I've held in my arms, dying on foreign soil. I fight for their wives and children whose names I heard whispered in their last breaths. I fight for we few who did come home, only to find our country full of strangers wearing familiar faces. I fight for my people, impoverished to pay the debts of an empire too weak to rule them, yet brands them criminals for wanting to rule themselves. I fight so that all the fighting I've already done hasn't been for nothing. I fight because I must.
Your words give voice to what we all feel, Ulfric. And that's why you will be High King. But the day words are enough will be the day when soldiers like us are no longer needed.
I would gladly retire from the world, were such a day to dawn.
Aye, but in the meantime, we have a war to plan.
Speak with Galmar. He'll size you up and see where we can best use your talents. Soon enough, we will march on Solitude. And on that day, the heroes of Sovngarde will march with us, and the Empire will fall to its knees in fear. I'm not sure why Tullius is wasting his time trying to take Winterhold from us. But if he wants to throw his men away, I'll gladly accept that gift. Not entirely true, though not entirely false either. Any Nord can learn the way of the voice by studying with the Greybeards, given enough ambition and dedication. My shouting Torg to the ground proved he had neither. However, it was my sword piercing his heart that killed him.
We're fighting because we're done bleeding for an empire that won't bleed for us. Untold numbers of Nords died defending the empire against the Dominion. And for what? Skyrim being sold to the Thalmor so the Emperor could keep his throne. We're fighting because our own Jarls, once strong, wise men, have become fearful and blind to the people's suffering. We're fighting because Skyrim needs heroes, and there's no one else but us.
I killed Torek to prove our wretched condition. How is the High King supposed to be the defender of Skyrim if he can't even defend himself? Indeed, Elisif has become Jarl of Solitude. Historically and conveniently home of the High King, backed by Imperial interests. But the Moot has not yet met to name her High Queen. And they won't. Not as long as I have any say in it. There hasn't been a true High King in Skyrim for generations. For too long, he's been hand-picked by the Emperor and given emphatic nods by milk-drinking Jarls addicted to Imperial coin. It's time we had a real High King, one of our own making. My father, the Great Bear of Eastmarch, died during my imprisonment after the Markarth incident. I, his only son, forced to deliver his eulogy via letter I had smuggled out of prison. Such is the love of Titus meat for his subjects. When finally set free, I returned to Windhelm and was greeted by a city in mourning, at one with my own grief and anger, clamoring in angry voices, calling out for justice, for war. They sat me on the throne of Ysgramor, the throne of my father. I only hope I can prove worthy of that honor. The Empire's ravenous hunger for Skyrim silver makes them fierce, but rest assured, we'll win the Reach and wrest it from their greedy paws. We should take Yarmarch. It'll be an important pressure point on the Imperials. We'd be within spitting distance of the capital. The Empire thinks it holds Falkreath from us, but the souls of Skyrim's bravest are buried there and will fill our hearts and strengthen our blades. Be careful out there.
Helgen, huh? Ulfric told us quite the story. If you made it through all that, you're likely worth something to me. But first, tell me, why the Breton want to fight for Skyrim? You mistake me. I'm not saying no, just wondering about your intentions. We're not looking for sellswords. The Stormcloaks need dedicated men and women who are devoted to the cause and willing to die for it. Fair enough, but are you willing to die for your home? Can't fault anyone for that. As long as you hate the Empire as much as I do, that I can work with. Watch yourself out there.
Next Imperial, fight or die well. At first they called us that to belittle our cause, but we gladly accept being named for Ulfric Stormcloak, the only true High King of Skyrim. We are the true sons and daughters of Skyrim, and Ulfric. He is the truest of us all. We fight to make our land great once more, to raise up strong, noble thanes, and lay low false Jarls and the cowards who hide behind them. The sound of our fury is a storm about to break on the heads of our enemies. Our friendship, a cloak of true brotherhood for all who would wear it. Skyrim is the birthplace of humanity, the birthplace of honor, and those snow-backed Imperials renounced both when they laid down before the Thalmor. Worse still, to pay for the privilege to keep his throne, the Emperor sells Skyrim and our very gods, Talos no less, to the damn elves. And what did Torek do? He and the Jarls that supported him, they took the Emperor's gold, sold out their people for a slave master's peace treaty. Ulfric did right killing him. Soon we'll rid Skyrim of elves, their bloody Justicars, and the Jarls in their pockets. The whole damn lot of them. And we'll cleave through the Legion to get to them. I'll take my leave then.
I've been a bit out of sorts since our daughter was taken from us.
I'd be out there fighting the Imperials right now if it wasn't for my war wound.
You need anything, come see me. I'm as resourceful as I am discreet. Take care, friend.
Rundown buildings, few guard patrols.
I'm so
Gray
cold.
Quarter is an insult. The Gray Quarter's not much to look at now, but it wasn't always so bad.
Windhelm is divided into 4 quarters. The Grey Quarter is the one that's home to all the city's dark elves. If it looks to you like an impoverished slum, that's because it is. Ulfric prefers that we live in squalor. He has nothing but disdain for anyone who isn't a Nord. He tolerates us, but that's the extent of his hospitality. Not a day goes by that I don't think about returning to the ancestral home of my people. Still, even with the rough treatment we've had at the hands of Ulfric and his lot, I've got ties here. It's probably more trouble to pack up and leave than it is to stay. Besides, Amberus can't run the corner club on his own. It was a pleasure.
Apparently, some Nord women were murdered. Not sure why. None of that matters to me. Until someone takes a Dunmer, I'll let Windhelm deal with its own problems. Well, you see where we have to live. This forgotten alley. All the filth from the upper quarters flows downhill, like they say. Good luck getting one of the guards to help with anything. I tried to get Ulfric to even come down here to see the squalor, but the High Lord of his mightiness couldn't find the time. Where else would we be? When the Red Mountain burned, you could scarcely breathe in Morrowind, so we came west. Windhelm was the first city on that road, and here we are. If we had known the Nords would be so unwelcoming, we may have kept walking. The College of Winterhold is the only place in Skyrim open-minded enough to teach magic. Although Ulfric's court wizard has been known to take on apprentices once in a while. If you need another drink, I'll be right here.
I thought...
You need anything, come see me. I'm as resourceful as I am discreet.
Need a ride? Where do you want to go? Climb and back, and we'll be off. Oh, steady.
I'm sorry, could you describe the smell?
Like some horrible monster was turned inside out and then exploded. What did you do?
It was a minor miscalculation. I've already corrected it for future experiments.
This is why people have a problem with your college, Nelligar. If there's anything you need, just let me know. I'm afraid there's not much to be said. Winterhold is hardly what it used to be. You can talk to Birna if you need to buy anything. He doesn't have much, but could certainly use the coin. And then there's our little inn. Most of the business we get is from folks here to visit the college, though even that's dried up some. That's right. College of Winterhold, just north of town. Hard to miss. All right, then.
I don't deal with any... No. Gods no, not for years. I left Winterhold for some time, and returned to stay here at the inn. I still have research that keeps me busy, and being here in Winterhold ensures I have access to former colleagues.
If you've business with the... Unlike some folks here in town, we have nothing against the college or the people that come and go.
Huh?
All right, then.
You lost?
Let me guess. Someone stole
My job
your
is
sweet roll?
Me? Nothing. And I hope to keep it that way. The Jarl is convinced I have some connection with the college, so he goes easy on me. Maybe you'd like to help me keep up appearances. Old Nellicar has a mage's staff in his room in the frozen hearth. It'd be good to have that staff, in case the Jarl starts wondering if I actually have a real connection to the college. Thanks. I'll be waiting for it. Safe travels.
What's your business here in Winterhold? Should have known. Not that it matters anymore. No one bothers coming to Winterhold for any other reason. Winterhold has lost much of its history, and with that much of its power. I aim to change that. I've heard rumors of the resting place of the Helm of Winterhold. The very same helm that Jarl Hansa wore in the First Era. Hansa was in line to be High King of Skyrim, you know. Having that might get the ear of the other holds, and give me some authority. Good. I'll have a sum of gold waiting for your return. I do. And if you count yourself among their numbers, then you've blood on your hands as well. There's nothing left of Winterhold. Nothing. Everyone knows it's the college's fault that the sea swallowed our city. Still, they deny it. But we all know the truth. What's there to tell? It's mostly gone now, thanks to those damned mages in the college. Someday there'll be proof they caused the Great Collapse. Most of a city just dropping off into the sea. That doesn't just happen. Good day.
Courier will be the first to tell you that if it weren't for that college, we'd all be better off. I agree with him.
I'll sell. I do what's necessary so we can get by. Have to, since I can't count on my brother for anything. Very funny. I'm sure you've noticed that Winterhold isn't exactly overflowing with people. So I'll sell whatever I can. If it's worth putting a price on, you can bet I'll do it. I've been burned a few times, made a few bad deals, but mostly I come out on top. Wasn't by choice, I can tell you that. Options were in short supply. Ranmir and I grew up here, and nearly any money I make, he drinks away. Without a coin to pack up and leave, I decided to take to trading. Yeah, it was stupid of me. I shouldn't have believed the story and just refused the trade. But I didn't, and now I'm stuck with this worthless junk. Some line about this clothing in Ingol Barrow. He said it was worth more than its weight in gold if I took it back there. Something about placing it back in Ingol's chamber, I don't know. What was I thinking? Even if it were true, I'm not setting foot in some ancient tomb filled with who knows what. I don't even care anymore. You want to check it out? Fine. I'll sell you the thing for 50 gold, and then it's your problem. Fine, here you go. You get killed on account of this thing, it's not my fault. Got it? But I suppose if it does actually turn out to be worth something, let me know, will you? Until next time. I'd be a lot warmer and a lot happier with a belly full of meat.
Kraldar's family was once very powerful in Winterhold. It's my honor to assist him even now. Kraldar's family was once very powerful in Winterhold. It's my honor to assist him even now.
Winterhold may not look impressive, but it has a very rich history. I'm afraid the Winterhold you see before you is somewhat underwhelming. I can assure you, though, that it was quite something in its prime. An early capital of Skyrim, you know. Sadly, the Oblivion Crisis took its toll on Winterhold, in more ways than one. Then, the Great Collapse swallowed most of our beloved city. Just about 80 years ago, there was a terrible disaster. The cliffs overlooking the Sea of Ghosts collapsed, taking most of Winterhold with them. In the middle of it all, the college was practically untouched. Many of the survivors were suspicious. Some believed the mages were behind the whole thing, and others felt they could have at least prevented it. Archmage Aaron assures me that his people had nothing to do with it, and I believe him. But Winterhold never recovered. You may have noticed the college just to the north there. Very prestigious place. Mages from all over Tamriel traveled here to seek knowledge. After the Oblivion Crisis was over, many felt that magic users were to blame. Elves, to be specific. It created a great deal of tension. A good many dark elves were driven from the city, and people became uncomfortable with the presence of the college. Goodness, no. They're simply scholars. They mean no one harm. I've had several conversations with Archmage Aaron over the years. Oh, he's perfectly polite, if a bit guarded. Mm-hmm.
Cross the bridge at your own peril. The way is dangerous, and the gate will not open. You shall not gain entry.
Oh, forgive me. Most who arrive here do so because they have heard of the college beforehand. This is the College of Winterhold, a safe haven for mages in Skyrim, a place of wisdom and arcane knowledge. I am here to assist those seeking the wisdom of the college. And if, in the process, my presence helps to deter those who might seek to do harm, so be it. The more important question is, why are you here?
Perhaps. But what is it you expect to find within?
Humor is often in short supply here. But I sense that perhaps you're after more than just that.
It would seem that the college has what you seek. The question now is, what can you offer the college? Not just anyone is allowed inside. Those wishing to enter must show some degree of skill with magic. A small test, if you will. No, I'm afraid I don't know anything of the sort.
Excellent. The Flame Atronach is a vital companion for anyone relying on conjuration. Summoning one here would certainly show your skill. No? Well, if you think you're capable of it, then I'd be happy to provide it to you for a mere 30 gold. Or you can try your luck with one of the court wizards around Skyrim. They also sell spells. Here you are. Now I'm anxious to see you cast it. The college is an asset to Skyrim, even if it goes unnoticed or unappreciated. No matter what, the college will endure. Much knowledge lies within the college's walls.
Need a ride? Where do you want to go? Climb and back, and we'll be off. If you've never been to Riften, be sure to visit the Blackbriar Meadery. A few mugs of that, and you'll forget all.
Down. You want everyone to hear you? Let me. Just let me unlock the gate.
I don't know what to say. I had another run-in with the Thieves' Guild.
Be careful, Mule. The Thieves' Guild has Maven Blackbriar at her back. One snap of her fingers and you could end up in Riften jail. Or worse.
They represent the reason I'm here. I can't just ignore them, Eren.
I know. I just don't want you to leave. You're the only good thing that's happened to this city in a long time.
You're a stranger here too, huh? To call it a guild is ridiculous. How can people who would betray one another over a gold coin be considered part of an association? They're the worst kind. Even the Dark Brotherhood abides by a strict set of rules and tradition. These thieves are just rabble. What do you think? That's a shame. Too many people in Riften share your view, and look where it's getting them. It's going to take more than just myself and Eren to help this city. It has to want to help itself first. Maven Blackbriar, the matriarch of the family, represents everything that's wrong with this city. She's bribed countless officials, has friends back in the Imperial City, and freely associates with the Thieves' Guild. I've tried everything I can to protect Riften citizens from her family, but to no avail. Well, there is Ingun Blackbriar, Maven's daughter. Strange girl. She likes to spend time down in Elgrim's elixirs working on her alchemy. Then you have Hemming, Maven's son. Spoiled brat and heir to her empire. He follows her word like a loyal dog follows its master. And finally, Sibi, the worst of all of them. He's in Riften jail for murder. I've been adventuring across Tamriel since I was a fresh-faced young woman barely able to swing a blade. My travels have taken me from High Rock to Valenwood, Elsewhere to Morrowind, and all points in between. Many years ago I lost my blade, Grimsever, within a Dwemer ruin. I took it as a sign that I was wasting my days in search of wealth. You and I are alike. We seek challenge and great fortune. But for me, that's where the similarities end. You see, Riften is my great beast to be slain, and my fortune comes from gratitude and trust. It's been difficult. I've taken the burdens of this city's problems upon myself, and I keep running into impossible obstacles. Corruption, lies and deceit are the order of the day here. If it wasn't for Eren, the young man who saved my life, I think I'd already have given up long ago. It was Eren who found me dying outside of a Dwemer ruin. If he hadn't brought me here and nursed me back to health, I would have died. When my strength returned and he told me about the problems plaguing Riften, I decided fate brought me here for a reason, so I stayed. Safe travels.
I don't know you. You and Riften looking for trouble? Yeah? Well, I got news for you. There's nothing to see here. Last thing the Blackbriars need is some stranger sticking their nose where it doesn't belong. The Blackbriars have Riften in their pocket, and the Thieves Guild watching their back, so keep your nose out of their business. Me? I'm Maul. I watch the streets for them. If you need dirt on anything, I'm your guy. But it'll cost you. Only way you could have found one of those is by stealing it. Guess you'll fit in around here better than I thought. So what do you want to know? Do I look like a merchant to you? You're gonna have to take that up with Vex in the Thieves Guild. Get in good with them and you'll find her. Well, you got Maven. She pretty much runs the whole operation. She's got friends in high places, if you know what I mean. She's also got ties to the Dark Brotherhood and the Thieves Guild, so basically, no one can touch her. Just remember, if she tells you to do something, you damn well better do exactly what she says. You kidding? My brother Dirge works in their hideout. I used to run with them myself, but took a job with Maven after they started hitting a rough patch. If you want to get in on that action, find Brynjolf in the marketplace. I'm sure he could use someone like you. Be seeing you around.
Sorry about the mess. Keeping this place clean is quite a chore. The bunkhouse isn't an inn. I'd recommend the Bee and Barb. Work? I suppose you can call it that. I call it slavery. I work my fingers to the bone keeping this disgusting place clean. Ever since my parents died and Helga took me in, it's been a nightmare. How was I to know she was such a wretched woman? So now I'm stuck living here, while those pigs she calls customers grope me and say the most awful things. It's not just the work, it's everything about her. She's disgusting. I think she takes her worship of Dibella a bit too seriously. Do you know she slept with 3 different men in the last month alone? What kind of woman would do such a thing? Just for once, I'd like to see her squirm, to rub her nose in it. Actually, there is, but I don't think I could get away with doing it. She'd kill me if she found out. You see, I happen to know, after she makes love, she gives her partner a token of her affection, called a Mark of Dibella. If you confront her with 3 of the marks, she'd be so embarrassed. Well, I don't know what she'd do. Oh, this is going to be great! You need to get the marks of Dibella from Boli, Hofgrir, and Indaren. Not sure how you're going to do that, but try your best. Then just confront Helga with them, and the rest works itself out. Try and get those marks without violence, please. I don't want to be responsible for their deaths. Or yours.
You looking for something or what? Of course not. You expect me to take care of it by myself? My niece Svana helps me with the chores. She'd be more help if she kept her head out of the clouds. She's been with me ever since her parents were killed by bandits and she was dropped in my lap. There's a college in Winterhold that teaches magic. It's very secretive, though, and you know how people hate secrets. The Jarl's Court wizard was taught there. That one's full of secrets. I don't know why I bother. I'm really getting tired of your excuses. When you borrowed the money, you said you'd pay it back on time and for double the usual fee.
I know I did. But how was I to know the shipment would get robbed?
Next time, keep your plans quieter, and nothing would have happened to it.
What? Are you telling me you robbed it? Why? Why are you doing this to me?
Look, Shadra, last warning. Pay up or else. All I care about is the gold. Everything else is your problem. I don't have any business with you, so get out of my face.
Huh? What do you want? Yes. Hofgrir took me in when I arrived in Riften about a year ago. He's been teaching me everything he knows. Horses are my whole life. Back in Hammerfell, I helped my family raise horses at our farm. I hope to open my own stables one day, but I think it's going to take a lot longer than I expected. I owe a great deal of money to someone, and I think they cheated me. I don't know what to do. I was able to work out a deal with the stables in Whiterun to sell me some of their tack and harnesses. I borrowed some gold from Sapphire to pay for the shipment, but it got robbed before it even arrived. Now Sapphire wants her money back, and if I don't pay her, I think she's going to kill me. You will? Oh, thank you. Be careful with Sapphire. She mixes with all sorts of nasty people. I've never seen Miol this upset about anything. The city really gets to her.
Sure.
Never
I'm
done
a
an
dirty
honest
beggar.
day's work in your
Why would
life
you
for
want
all
to
that
even
coin you
speak to
carry.
me?
Eh, lass?
Rare trinkets and the
I'm
finest
saying you've got
oddities
the
from
coin,
Norway.
but you didn't earn a septim of it honestly. I can tell. It's all about sizing up your mark, lass. The way they walk, what they're wearing. It's a dead giveaway. Oh, but that's where you're wrong, lass. Wealth is my business. Maybe you'd like a taste. I've got a bit of an errand to perform, but I need an extra pair of hands. And in my line of work, extra hands are well paid. Simple. I'm going to cause a distraction. You're gonna steal Medesi's silver ring from a strongbox under his stand. Once you have it, I want you to place it in Branche's pocket without him noticing. There's someone that wants to see him put out of business permanently. That's all you need to know. Now, you tell me when you're ready, and we'll get started. We've been contracted to make sure Branche remembers not to meddle in affairs that aren't his own. Now, since we're not the Dark Brotherhood, we're not going to kill him. We're just going to make sure he sits in the prisons for a few days. Do you want me to hold your hand as well? You're going to have to sneak over to Medesi's stall and use your lockpick on the strongbox. Then, when you have the ring, you pickpocket Branche and leave it behind. I'm ready when you are. Just give the word.
Until next time.
Yes? I picked up a trick from a butcher in Elenir, a small town over the border in Hammerfell. He showed me a way to grind up ice wraith teeth and use it as a preservative. Keeps everything cold and fresh, but only for a limited time. I'm always looking to replenish my supply, so if you ever come across 5 of them, I'd be more than happy to take them off your hands. Thanks. I was actually worried I'd run out. Well, I'd be careful if I were you. I hear the Nords hunt them for some kind of initiation rite, and not all of them end up victorious. The last traveler that traded me some said he found them at a place called Ancient's Ascent. Careful, though. Rumor has it a dragon makes its home there. Just what you see here. They live below the streets, in the ratway, like dirty animals. And trust me, they're no better than the vermin that slink out of there for scraps. They make it difficult for decent people to earn a living. Of course, not many decent people live here in the first place. It's Riften's name for the sewers beneath our feet. Absolutely disgusting. If you fancy keeping your purse filled with gold and your head on your shoulders, I'd stay out of those awful tunnels. Be careful.
And what might you? I may be Dark Elf by birth, but I was raised Argonian. Through reasons I'm still trying to discover, I ended up orphaned, then taken in by a kindly Argonian family in Black Marsh. I hope one day to find out what happened to me, how I ended up like that. Just one. I know when I was found by my Argonian father, I was wrapped in a blanket bearing the symbol of House Telvanni. It was one of the great houses in Morrowind long ago. Whether that means I was one of them or not, I'm uncertain. If you come across anything in your travels that might provide me with the answers I'm looking for, I'd be grateful. Thank you. I learned that a matron who had served for House Telvanni had escaped Morrowind during the Accession War. Record showed her buying passage aboard a sailing vessel named the Pride of Telvos, but that's where the trail ran cold. I spent years looking for what became of the ship, but I ended up empty-handed. See for yourself. Anything you can find would be of great help. Good luck.
Aye. Catchy, isn't it? In my youth, I was a fisherman. I had a beautiful ship named the Brawny Prawn. But the years have a way of creeping up on you. I ended up selling that ship to open this place. Seemed only fitting to name it after her. Well, changed it a bit, I suppose. If I had been smarter, I would have kept my boat. Coming to this city was a big mistake. The question is, what isn't wrong with Riften? This city's corrupt, rotten to the core. No one cares about anything except themselves, and how much coin they can make off the misery of others. Authorities, have you been listening to what I said? They're all dirty. Every one of them.
The only way to get things done in this city is to keep your head down and pay off the right people. It's our name for the old sewers that run under the city. It used to be a huge system hundreds of years ago, but it fell into decay, just like the rest of Riften. The guild stocks the place full of thugs that aren't good enough to join, so watch yourself if you venture down there. Until next time.
Lady Mara bids you welcome to her benevolence. We are devoted to the goddess Mara, who gave mortals the gift of love, that they might have a hint of eternity. Her blessings are many. To love is to know the true nature of the gods. Not all can hear the broad echoes of deepest dawn. To receive the touch of Mara, you must first act as her hands in the world. Explore the facets of the infinite jewel. Are you prepared, then, to help bring the light across this land? The dawn surely opens upon you, child. You must bear its light that all may see. Mara has reflected an image to me. At the foot of the throat and the young woman, almost a girl. Her fickle love must resolve itself. The village of Iverstead. The woman, Fastred. This is the prayer heard by the goddess and relayed to her servants. Return when she has seen her path. I will entreat Mara on your behalf.
Need something? This temple is dedicated to Mara, and the light of love she shines on us all. I'm only a humble acolyte, though. If you wish to avail yourself from Mara's blessing, you should speak with Denyo Balu or Marmal.
Huh? Divine smile on you, friend. Let's get going.
Heard they're reforming the Dawn God.
You lost? My mind is on my experiments today. What did you need? I'm aspiring to earn that title, yes. However, the road ahead is paved with loose cobbles and deadly pitfalls. Master Elgrim says I'm a natural, that I have a unique talent, but I fear his approval masks his intolerance for my mistakes. My errant formulas have cost Master Elgrim a fortune in ingredients, some of which are almost irreplaceable. To restore Master Elgrim's supply, I would need 20 Deathbell, 20 Nightshade, and 20 Nirnroot. Am I sensing that you may be interested in gathering these rare ingredients for me? That means more time for my experiments and less time in the field. Much appreciated. It's exhilarating to observe the effects of my potions on the body. Watching the heart stop, the eyes go blind. We're made up of thousands of parts with thousands of different functions, all working in tandem to keep us alive. Yet if only a single part of our imperfect machine fails, life fails. It makes one realize how fragile, how flawed we are. You ask why I'm so fascinated? The irony that the same world that gave us life provides us the means to die. Nirnroot is the easiest. It grows only by the water and makes a unique chiming noise. The only drawback is it won't regrow after harvesting. Nightshade is native to the pine forest and marshy tundra regions of Skyrim, and has a distinctive starburst-like violet flower. Last we have Deathbell, which only grows in marshy tundra terrain. Its inverted bluish-purple flower bunches are unmistakable. Huh, my family. All that wealth and they squander it on foolish ventures and political schemes. I was meant for so much more than all of this. I wish to pledge my life and ply my talents in darker circles. If only my mother would let me, I would make her proud. My experiments can't be completed until you've brought me those ingredients. Do hurry. Any luck gathering those ingredients?
Those who shirk their duties will get an extra beating. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, Grelod.
And one more thing. I will hear no more talk of adoption. None of you riffraff is getting adopted, ever. Nobody needs you. Nobody wants you. That, my darlings, is why you're here. Why you will always be here, until the day you come of age and get thrown into that wide, horrible world. Now, what do you all say?
We love you, Grelod. Thank you for your kindness.
That's better. Now scurry off, my little gutter snipes. What do you want? You have no business being in here.
Ever since Aventus left, Grelod's been even...
What are you staring at, you worthless piece of gutter trash? I simply must start locking the doors again. Think you can intimidate me? In my own orphanage? Ha! Not bloody likely.
You really shouldn't be here. I'm sorry, but the children aren't up for adoption right now. You should go. Sadly, yes. Even the townsfolk have taken to calling her Grelod the Kind. Her very existence has become something of a running joke. Grelod runs this orphanage because she's old and set in her ways and doesn't know any other life. These children need love and comfort. I try. But I'm sorry. You should go. The children aren't up for adoption, and it's cruel to get their hopes up. Besides, Grelod hates visitors. I'm sorry, no. Grelod is the headmistress here, and she's decided not to allow any adoptions right now. I wish things were otherwise. All of these children deserve a better home, but there's nothing I can do.
Point that somewhere else.
It's Grelod.
Enough! Victory is yours! I submit!
Have our scouts come up with any information on these reports of dragons?
Yes. That unpleasantness at Helgen supposedly involved a dragon. It killed several soldiers before it departed.
I want you to speak to the city guard. Make sure there's a contingency plan in effect in case Riften falls under attack.
Yes, milady. I've also taken the liberty in preparing a private carriage, just in case.
Good. If Riften should fall, it's only right that its leader be spared.
Welcome to Mistvale Keep. I'm Jarl
Welcome to
Layla's
Riften,
steward,
traveler.
Muriel.
While I feel Ulfric's cause is just, my concern is for the people of the Rift. How can they continue to lead their already meager lives with dark clouds looming overhead? My heart goes out to them. If only our coffers were deeper, I could protect them as they were my own family. With the Stormcloaks at his back, Ulfric's poised to rid Skyrim of the Empire's forces and invalidate our involvement with the White Gold Concordat. Many have died taking up arms for this cause. I fear that the land will be stained with blood for years to come. Surely you're aware of the Great War between the Imperials and the Elves who called themselves the Aldmeri Dominion? When the smoke cleared, the White Gold Concordat was signed. It was supposedly a treaty aimed at establishing peace within the Empire. One of the terms of the treaty was the outlawing of worship to Talos. To the Stormcloaks, this was viewed as the moment when the Empire became unworthy of the allegiance of any true Nord. We're all eager to see them brought to justice. Maven Blackbriar has assured me that they're being dealt with appropriately. As one of our city's most influential citizens, she's taken it upon herself to oversee their incarceration. Sadly, they're proving elusive, but I have confidence that Maven won't give up until this city has been rid of them all. Good journey to you.
I could feel you laughing behind my back. Because I did something not a soul in this blood-stained house of war has the backbone to do. Dared to speak my mind. I dared speak of the Empire and the lies that have been spread by Ulfric, the leader of the Stormcloaks. Now my mother's stripped me of my heritage and incarcerated me here like a common criminal, and my brother has all but disowned me. Be wary what you say around here, friend. You'll find not all take kindly to insurrection. Ulfric only cares about one thing. Ulfric. He's ordained himself the future High King of Skyrim, and steps on anyone that gets in his way. He's begun a rebellion against those that wish to eradicate the worship of Talos, and uses it as his rallying cry. His cause may be true, but the man is a lie. All he holds in his heart is lust for the throne.
Take my advice. Don't listen to that talk of the face sculptor down in the Ragged Flagon. Face Butcher is more like it from what I've heard.
As Jarl Layla's houseguard, I would ask that you maintain a respectable distance from her at all times. Ulfric's a bloody hero. I don't think there's a worthy Nord alive who dare argue the point. He's taking the Empire to task and making them answer for their crimes. I don't think I'll be content until Ulfric sits upon the throne of Skyrim with the ashes of the Concordat at his feet. Indeed, there have been multiple attempts on the Jarl's life. We're not certain if it's the Dark Brotherhood or simply Imperial sympathizers. We've also had run-ins with spies attempting to probe our security for weaknesses. I work with the city guard to make certain they fail. At the end of the day, I'm the last line of defense for the Jarl. I will not allow her to fall. Liars and bastards, every one of them. I'd have their heads on a pike if it wasn't for the war effort. All I need is a dozen men, and we could march into the Ratway and burn them out like rodents. Stormcloaks won't have it, though. Too busy keeping the Imperial forces at bay. Everyone knows the Thieves Guild uses the old sewer system beneath Riften as their hideout. I'd go down there myself, but that would leave Jarl Layla unprotected. I'm keeping my eye on you.
Welcome to Riften, home of the Thieves Guild. Or so they'd have you believe. It's all lies. They're just thugs, vermin, creeping around the Ratway.
As steward, I serve as an intermediary between the Jarl and her subjects. I also handle the less important and day-to-day policies that affect daily life in Riften. Lately, I've had my hands full suppressing these ridiculous accusations of corruption in the keep. There are those that believe the Jarl does nothing for this city, that it's corrupt and run by the Blackbriar family. I can assure you that this is entirely false. We are fully in control of everything. I'd hardly call them a guild, more like unorganized rabble. In fact, I wouldn't say they were a threat at all. No, our resources should be spent on preparations for invasion. You're welcome in Riften, as long as you continue to obey our laws.
Got to keep my eyes open. Damn dragons could swoop down at any time. Got to thinking, maybe I'm the Dragonborn, and I just don't know it yet.